Hello friends, so this is the day I went on vacation to Rome, and so I was roaming around the Capitoline Hill, one of Rome's 7 hills, where many of the most important temples were located in ancient times, and so I walked past the Roman Forum, and I'm reading my guidebook, and also I'm eating some mint. So I make a left after the Forum and come upon this basilica called Santa Maria, and so I look at my guidebook and it says that this church was once the site of the temple of Juno moneta, which was the location of the first ancient Roman mint. So basically, the Rome mint, right? I'm eating a mint, and then all of a sudden I'm standing over what was once a mint. Could this be a coincidence? Probably not. This must be a sign from the goddess Juno moneta, the namesake of the temple, that there is some sort of connection between these two words. Okay then, let's investigate. So, alas, from what I can see, not only is there no semantic relation between mint, the food, and mint, the money-making building, there is no etymological connection either. Mint, the food, comes from Greek, and its ancestor, Menthe, in Greek mythology was the name of a nymph whom that god Hades was smitten by, and whom his wife, the goddess Persephone, subsequently turned into the herb that we now know as mint. Makes sense. Now, the word mint, as in the building, according to most scholars, is associated with another goddess, as mentioned previously, the goddess Juno moneta. As her name suggests, Juno moneta was traditionally associated with the Roman goddess Juno, queen of the gods and protectress of Rome and its wealth, which she successfully did on multiple occasions, perhaps most notably during the sack of Rome by the Gauls in 390 BC. On that occasion, her sacred geese warned the Romans of the impending invasion, thus enabling them to repel the Gauls and keep them off the Capitoline Hill, as the story goes. So it was only logical for the ancient Romans to start using her temple on the Capitoline Hill to mint coins, which they did starting in 273 BC, and Juno's epithet moneta gradually became the ancestor of words associated with money and mints in many modern languages, including manat, the currency of both Azerbaijan and Turkmenistan. So, where did the epithet moneta come from? Well, ancient Roman sources such as Cicero claimed that the name came from the Latin monere, or to warn, advise, which Juno had definitely done well in times of need. But, from what I understand, the name moneta precedes Juno, and a goddess with that name was worshipped outside of Rome well before the name became associated with her in the 4th century BC. Most modern scholars now believe that moneta, as this goddess was called, actually comes from the Greek moneres, which means unique, which is logical, if you look at it in the sense that, initially at least, this goddess was the one and only source of units of money in the Roman world. So if this moneres origin story is correct, then many words beginning in mono are associated with money in English. So, for example, the two words in monopoly money both come from the same source. Wow, pretty cool. And so anyway, when in Rome, well, don't go to the temple of Juno moneta, because it doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. After 4 centuries of use, it was destroyed by fire and rebuilt in another part of Rome by the Emperor Domitian in 84 AD. But its legacy is rich, to say the least, and still lives on in a number of modern languages, including with the word that we today call money. Thanks for watching.